went over to the male side, and do not mind his eyebrows. I did not realize that I had like crazy looking eyebrows on poor Delvin here. Like his hair did a fine job at covering that up. He just, oof. Boy, I'm sorry, but we're gonna go ahead and use him. I did scalp him just like we scalped Ariel, but we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna show you some of the male overlays I like to use. I do like to use some of the same ones that I use for female side. So if you guys can remember from the female overlays, Cicada and Fleur, I do use plenty on my male sims. You can see that's what Cicada looks like on him, and that is what Fleur and also Gaia as well. Those are great for both female and male sims, but I do want to focus on specifically what I'll go to or gravitate towards just specifically for male for Delvin here, so we will jump into that. So this is Billie Jean, and I do believe I have a female version of this, but I tend to use Billie Jean male more than I use Billie Jean for females. So this one has a very interesting look for it. It's not for everyone, so it's just going to have to depend on your sim and the look you're going for. The defining feature of Billie Jean is the lips. To me, like I describe it as like a real dry lip. So some sims it looks really nice on. I don't know that it looks great on Delvin, but it's like sometimes you have to play around with it. You know, you have an overlay that will look good on one sim and won't look so great on another. Delvin looked like he needs to wear some chapstick with this overlay on, but we're gonna let him have that, and I'll show you guys the next one. Oh wait, let me not show you the next one. These are the swatches for this one. So this is like another one that has like, the further in you might get additional skin details that layer on top. Like this one's got the freckles on there, so you got that dry lip and you got that freckle look. This one doesn't have, like, it's got the dry lip, but some of these swatches the lips are not so dry looking. So you know, experiment around, my people, and see what you like. Now this is one of them one and done overlays where there's no additional swatches. You wear it or you don't. This is actually more, in my opinion, like Max's mix. This one is called Leroy, and this one's got like really good prominent cheekbones, and it gives your sim like a little beauty mark, and that applies to every single sim that has this skin overlay. So I tend to like this one a lot because it gives them that cheekbone look. And typically, if I'm not using the skin overlay, if I want them to have like a little bit of a prominent cheekbone, I've got to add contour, either with like a face paint or a blush for my male sims. And if I don't feel like doing that, sometimes I'll just go for an overlay that already has that look, which Leroy does. The one drawback to Leroy, in my opinion, is that Leroy, even though it is a skin overlay, sometimes it plays a lot like it plays a whole lot like a face, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not even thinking of the word, but there are some skin overlays where, like, especially if you're in the alpha range of skin overlays, where like the face overlay is just like a specific overlay of a person's face, right? And Leroy plays a little bit like that, where like if you have this skin overlay on your sim, then all your sims gonna look just like Leroy in this thumbnail. And like if you use Leroy on all your sims, they're all gonna look like Leroy, let's be honest. So I just be cautious of how often you apply this overlay for that reason, because you don't want your whole world of sims to be looking like Leroy. It's gonna be feeling a little bit incestuous up in there, but that is Leroy. Now this next overlay I use a ton. I believe I used this, or a variation of this, on Blade in my Not So Berry Let's Play, but Huniebun. And this, like, I have, like, this is not the only one. I believe I have like 3 or 4 different versions of Huniebun in here, and they all have differences to them, but that's the reason why I end up using it a lot, because it's really good, and the 4 different ones have like a lot of variation. You can make a whole lot of different like beautiful male sims with. But this one I do believe has like, yep, this one's got like the freckles. So I think the version I used for Blade was like the one that has this freckling by the nose, and it's just like really good. Like, I'm not gonna go through all the different Honeybuns I have. When you go to the page to download Huniebun, it will show all the different Honeybuns, so you can get them all at once. but like Huniebun just, it's like a really good, you want like a really good male overlay that's got a whole lot of variation to it, specifically for teen and young adults because there are no wrinkle swatches for this one. Huniebun is a really good one. So the next male one I'm going to show you is this one. I don't know the name of it because it's not labeled on the thumbnail, and so I'll have to pop the name of it in the screen right here. The great one about this one is just like Huniebun, it's got a whole lot of variation. I like the highlighting, and this one gives you some like a regular version and a monolithic version of like each swatch, but this one's great because as you can see right here, this one gives you wrinkle swatches. So if you want to just throw this on, like this reminds me of like, it feels to me like an expanded Huniebun, because like I mentioned, the Huniebun doesn't give you wrinkle swatches, but this one has swatches that look like Huniebun and have the wrinkle swatches. So you can either like opt to use this one, or if you really like Huniebun, when your sim gets to be an elder, like, oh, my poor baby Glade, he's about to be an elder, so when he becomes an elder, I might switch him to this particular overlay so I can use the wrinkle swatch and he can look a little bit older. But that is this one, and it's such a good overlay. So this is the Hydra skin overlay, and now we're more in the realm with Alpha E, like Max's Mix. So as you can see, just with like more alpha leaning overlays, we get a little bit prominence in the jawline and the cheekbones, which I appreciate. But the other thing I appreciate about this one that is again common with ones that lean a little bit more alpha is that this one has a full body application. So I'm going to put him in his swimsuit, which dude, what you wearing? What you wearing? No. But as you can see, Delvin boy, he got guns now with this one. Like, obviously in the game your sims can have a six-pack, but the thing I don't like about the definition that the game gives you as far as when your sim starts to get fit and gets like a six-pack, as it just doesn't ever really like seem well defined enough. Like, my sims don't have a pixel thirst about them, and regular degular smegular what the game is giving them, it's not giving what it's supposed to give, as they say. So with Hydra, you can see that it's giving what it's supposed to give. So like, see, that's what Delvin looked like with this skin on. That's what his body's looking like. You take it off, and you know, he's still got a little something something, but is it really something something, or is it lacking? So this one gives it a little something extra something something. It does also, I think it tints his skin a little bit darker, so if you're not a fan of that, you may not want to use this. And like I said, the skin overlays lean alpha tend to do that, so you just have to be careful and mindful. But this one has a few different swatches, and they're like, have different transparencies. So if you, let's say you don't want it to look like this heavy as far as like the definition, you might want to go with something like this. So as you can see, between this and this is a little bit more less heavy. So if you are playing a more Max's match, but you want something that has a little bit more definition like alpha, then you might want to go with this swatch over this swatch. And I think it's the same with this one. This one's a little bit lighter skin, so like I said, when you apply this one, it darkens it just a little. So if you don't want it to darken a lot, you might, rather than using this version of the swatch, you might want to do this version of the swatch. And if you don't want too much definition, you want it to be a little bit more Max's matchy, and you might want to do this swatch right here. So just like with the female, there is a male version of Hazel that I use, and you do definitely want to make sure when you're using skin overlays that you're seeing whether something can be applied or male or female. As you can see, like, I have all my skin overlays that show up for both male and female, but sometimes if you use a skin overlay that's meant for females, you're gonna be a little bit shocked and surprised in the chesticle area if you use the female one on the male one. A fair warning. So for Hazel, if you like the look of Hazel on your female sims and you want that same look on your male sim, do not use the female Hazel version, use the male Hazel version. Right here you've got like this regular version, and it comes with the one that I believe just gives you a little bit more of a heavier eye. So that is it for this skin overlay showcase. I did want to try and focus on the overlays I use quite a lot. That's obviously, as you can see, my on you know, the other side of my screen as I was showing them, I have a ton of skin overlays and skin details in my game. That was just like the more prominent ones I want to use. Let me know down in the comments down below if you found this helpful, and if you would like to see more of these showcases, maybe the next one for skin details or lashes or brows. Let me know in the comments down below so I know what you guys want to see. But as always guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and of course stay dazzled. I will see you in the next one. Bye.